welcome everybody to me, myself, and I'm so fucking excited for this episode. I've been planning this for a minute. My guest and I have been planning this for a minute, but we just can't help that. We are just internationally booked and blessed divas we are. So it is my pleasure to introduce to the show my entertainer of the year, Def Doe.
Hi.
Thank you finally for coming. And I'm glad this all worked out perfectly.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me.
Of course. I feel like we always have a good time whenever we're geeking at a club or whatever. And there's a lot of really entertaining performers and people out there, but you are that, and you're also just cool as fuck to hang out with backstage or whenever I run into you in public.
Think?
Absolutely.
I don't know. I try. I'm just a sweet, fun girl.
Just, not like the other girls.
Just fun. I'm really into fun girls.
Because I feel like we are fun girls.
We are fun girls. When we go out, we look cute and we have fun.
We do. I mean, for me, I think I'm a very fun girl. I could kind of be a grandmother at sometimes, but now I just realize I'm okay, well, maybe I am just super freaky grandma. Because I'm both.
Super freaky grandma.
Yeah, home I'm grandmother. But when I'm out, I'm out.
Do you cook?
I can, but I don't a lot. I try to make that a thing. Yeah, I cook. Or when I'm talking to a guy, I mentions it, and he's like, so what do you like cooking? I'm like, oh, some Egyptian shit or whatever. Which if it gets that point, then sure. But I'm giving it up. I'm not a cook. I'll learn one day. I mean, I know how to, but it's not my claim to fame. There are plenty of other foods I could offer a date that's not in the kitchen.
Ooh.
It could end up in the kitchen, but what about you?
I'm really good at ordering Uber Eats, yeah.
Fine cuisine.
I can order you the best meal.
I mean, that just makes you a cuisine curator. So I think that's very important.
I like that. Cuisine curator.
Yeah, I just made it up now. But nothing is a better feeling though when you're coming back from a gig and the one place that you hope is still open is delivering, and you're just oh, yes, let me order on my way home. It's gonna be there right after the club. And
yeah, I'm a bodega girl, so
same.
I like to there's 3 different bodegas near my apartment. I'm chopped cheese, chicken Caesar wrap, fries. Not both, one or the other. I'm not getting a wrap and a chopped cheese. That's ludicrous.
You see, what I will do sometimes if I'm being a lady that likes to prepare for the future, I'll get both, and then I'll have one for tonight and then one tomorrow for lunch, and I'll just save it. I mean, that's if the funds are right that night. Trust me.
It's always soggy the next day. I can just walk over to the bodega.
Okay, good point. Well, some things are kind of good once they have a little moment to kind of sit.
Simmer.
Yeah, exactly. Get to know the fridge quite well. And then by 12 the next day.
I'm not. You can ask my roommate. If I put food in the fridge, it's never being eaten.
That's Joe Giuseppe. That's literally him. He'll just be yeah, we'll just take this home and I'll save it for later. It either ends up being mine, the dog's, or the garbage.
The dog?
Yeah, girl.
I know you had a dog.
I mean, it's not it, excuse me. He's not mine. He's Joe's dog, but I've now become the godmother / single auntie to the dog. I know.
I want a cat.
You a cat person?
I'm an animal person, but I'm too busy to have anything living. I can barely take care of myself at this point. But my dream is to have a Sphinx cat, the bald cat. I want a gray one with green eyes that has an attitude problem and only likes me.
I like that.
Some people are oh, I love your cat. It's
exactly. But then we'll come up to you and just kind of what would you name it?
Oh my God. Why didn't I see that question coming? Maybe Purr.
Honestly, you know what? That would kind of be funny. Be I love your cat. What's its name? Purr. No, what's its name? Not what sound does it make? What's its name? Purr, girl. I told you. Going to the vet, just be yeah, checking in for Purr.
That's kind.
Isn't that? Isn't that?
Now I gotta get a cat. She's not gonna make it.
No, I was watching Two Dogs for 2 weeks and they made it. I'm very proud of the work I've done, but I'm that was enough.
A life in your hands? No.
Crazy.
Do you want kids?
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. There is the domestic lady living inside of me that is just like waiting for that moment. But I used to think that was gonna come much earlier in my life. It's gonna come way later, like middle to late 30s, 40s perhaps. Because I'm trying to be a mogul at the moment, and I don't want to be
You
a mogul
are a
and a mommy.
mogul.
I am a mogul, and I want to stay that for a minute until I become a mommy. Then, sure, once that happens, great. Y'all could have my career. My company is being sold. I'm gonna be in the countryside of England with my rich and really sexy husband, with
Oof.
my kids. Ugh, isn't that the
But
dream?
you can have the job too. Look at Rihanna.
I
You
know.
have the career, the baby.
Yeah, I'll still be overseeing things,
Oh,
but I'll just
you're
be,
gonna pull back.
yeah,
You know, just oversee the business.
I'll just be traveling, and then I'll just be really mysterious and just live in my little bubble, kind of like Tina Turner. She just lives in Switzerland. It is now with her rich French husband and is just like chilling.
I mean, not no.
But
I don't want children. I hate
yeah,
children. I think children are like unnecessary in this day and age. They make a mess. They're in the way. They're like
yep.
running all over the place. Not for me, but I love other people's kids.
Same. That's kind of like me with other people's pets because like once they start like needing things like feeding time or to go to the bathroom, I'm just like,
Here you go.
there you go. There it is.
Like,
Thanks for your
no,
service.
thank you. I'm good.
I keep on forgetting that kids kids are people and they turn into adults. Like I think a child is like a rental whenever I see them. Like I think that kid just like stays there for a minute, lasts like 6 months, and then it just like disappears.
But like, imagine if your kid is like Jeffrey Dahmer. That's like my fear.
Chop.
Like, what am I gonna
Chopper.
do? Like, it's like, girl, who taught you this? Like, ew.
I would be such a bad parent. Like, say if my kid, I mean, God forbid, like my kid ever grows up to do some fuck shit like that, I would not even show up to court that day. And they would just be like, yeah, the defendant's parent, Joseph Jabal, is missing. You'd get a call from me, and I'd just be like, yeah, I'm not supporting that person.
Oof.
I'd just be like, well, good luck to her.
Dark.
I would not. I mean, like, if
Dark.
you're doing some crazy shit like that, I'm okay. Please do not tarnish my name that I've worked so hard for.
Oh my God, Diva. She said, fuck them kids.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you fuck with me, fuck them kids. Absolutely.
Not your own kids. That's why you just don't have them. Once you have them, you gotta like rally, you know, support them.
I'll be the first to snitch on them. Do not keep me in that. Because then my brand and my life will stay clean and all that. And I'll just be like, yeah, poor whatever just went down the wrong path. I mean, granted, it'll probably be like much more sad in real life.
You're like, my child kills people. Anyway.
Not my child no more.
Wow.
Is that evil? I don't think
I
it
don't
is.
know. Just like disowning kids. It always feels a little icky. But I mean, if you're like a serial killer, I mean, I can understand.
Yeah, that would be the only thing, or one of the only things. Like, it has to be something serious for me to disown you.
I did not expect this conversation.
I was gonna say, I'm like, wow, here I am with Devdo, one of the guests I've dreamed of talking to, and here we are talking about disowning our serial killer children.
Knock on wood.
I mean, right. I don't see any wood anywhere. This is what? Like tile?
Yeah.
Is this even wood? That would be me reaching out of my shot.
That's a
I'm
reach.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Stay in the light. Stay in the
That's
light.
what I'm saying. This is too tight. I'm not about to be bending over in unflattering ways on camera and bright lights. I've learned a few things after these few episodes.
I know all about bending over and unflattering lights.
Would you like to expand?
Well, you know, just when you're performing on stage or in the bedroom. But I meant on
Which
stage.
one do we want to go to first? I'm like, seems like you're excited to talk about both because I do want to talk about both.
Well, you're the boss.
Okay.
Leave me.
Work. So first we're going to start professionally on stage because you could be a professional
okay.
both. Exactly. So how long have you been performing for? I know you've done dance before. You grew up in Maryland.
Oh my gosh. What else do you know?
We're Maryland girls, DMV sisters. We know a lot of the same people.
We do. It was weird. I was like, wait.
Isn't that crazy?
Now we came from the same place.
No, for real.
It makes sense.
It
Maryland
does.
girls are interesting.
Like you could kind of just spot out like a DMV girl. You
They're
know?
smarter and prettier than everyone else.
Very. very. And it's a certain type of like just about them, you know?
Honestly, I do.
Like
Rico Nasty.
literally, I was gonna say her, Ari Lennox. I remember I met her at work a few months ago, and like it was my first time meeting her, and I could just tell. I was like, yeah, that's a DC girl.
You're like,
Like you
we
could
see
just
each other.
tell. Like you have that feeling of like, yeah, like we probably sat together in math or something and didn't know what the fuck the teacher was saying, but she was like an ally. She was fierce, and she was just like, okay, I like this gay kid next to me. And I was like, all right, I like her.
We
She's
love
my
an
girl.
ally teacher. Usually the English teacher.
Always.
That was my favorite.
Always the English teacher. I don't remember ever having beef with an English teacher, and that says a lot.
I never read, but I never had beef.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't do any work in those classes, and I was in all the dumb classes too.
I was in the really smart classes.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like kind of smart. It's like my like secret superpower.
Really? I mean, not like really, but
I
like
said, damn bitch, I thought you was
no,
stupid.
no. But like, I consider myself intelligent, just not from an academic light standpoint. I shine much better in different lighting, not under academia or whatever it's fucking called. But yeah, reading.
It's fundamental.
It really fucking is.
And I can read a bitch.
Can you
read
really?
a book and I can read a person.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. I think both of those are very fucking fundamental. If anything, I learned more about that in school. More the reading the bitch, not the reading the books.
Reading a bitch down.
Yeah.
Well, I was back to your question about performing.
Work.
I was like, we're going to be on tangents.
See, I love a tangent.
You know, well, I did theater like growing up.
Mm-hmm.
That was like my foray.
Forte.
No.
Is it?
Foray? Is that the word? That was my entry into
Foreplay.
like foreplay works too, but that was my entry into like performance. I was like such a theater kid, total gay, like oh my god, like Gleek, everything. Head of the theater department, like did it all.
Absolutely.
And they kept being like, "You're a really good dancer. You should dance." And I was like, I feel like you're calling me gay, because I was like not at the time. I was like, why do you want me to go to I went to an all boys school, and they kept being like, you should join the dance program, which was at the girls' school, and I was like, had a lot of internalized homophobia, so I was very like, ew, no, I'm gonna like do improv games and like, which is so gay too, like,
literally.
but you know, like when you're like closeted or like discovering yourself, you're like that's gay, but that's not gay. Dance was like, that's too gay for me.
Yeah.
Come to find out, when I finally joined the dance program, I was really good at it. Went to college at University of Maryland, and then I did one semester not in the dance program. Joined the program after one semester, got a full scholarship for dance. So I will be that faggot with a full scholarship for dance.
Absolutely.
And then ever since then, I've just like, it's like dance is like my life. And then post-pandemic, me and Mariah, my sister that I do Cover Girls with, we always would talk, because we always would like go out and stuff in like wigs and makeup, and like we would even take like hip-hop classes and stuff at BDC in like wigs and makeup. That's like how we bonded. And I would always be like, I kind of want to do drag. Like we kind of do it all anyway. Like we might as well like get paid for it. And then we finally, after the pandemic, we were like, girl, let's just like do it. Let's start a group. Because, you know, like post-pandemic, it was giving the world could end any day.
Absolutely.
Just say yes to everything. And so we did Chanel No. 5's competition, Diva. Won. First try.
Absolutely.
And the rest was history. Now we're both like killing it.
Absolutely.
But,
that's crazy.
Isn't it?
I keep on forgetting that you're like a pandemic born baby.
Yeah, I've been doing drag for probably, I think like under 2 years.
That's crazy. Do you think about how not long it's been at all, considering like all your growth?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, so like the Glam Awards was like the thing that I was like, oh shit, like I'm up for Entertainer of the Year with everyone else on that list. I think has been doing it at least for 4 years. Like they're like super seasoned, like veterans in the scene. So there's like definitely a lot of imposter syndrome for me, but that was like the moment that I was like, oh shit, like I think I'm good at this. Cause before that, I
Yeah.
just think everyone's lying. Like I'm like, you're all lying to me. Like
Yeah.
I'm like a diversity hire or like a quota filler for your show or something. You know, like you like
Mm-hmm.
create your own reasoning as to why you're doing so well.
Yeah.
And then that moment when it's like your peers voted for you, I was like, oh shit, I'm kind of good at this.
Mm-hmm. And to have you have 4 nominations, but specifically Breakthrough Artist and Entertainer of the Year. Those are major and those describe you perfectly. You
You
know,
think?
because if I think about like your drag career, especially like in the past year, like Breakthrough Entertainer, you. Entertainer of the Year, you. Because you essentially did both, you know, like you came on the scene only 2 years ago, broke through, and here you are now. So it's just crazy. Much
It
respect to
is.
you, girl.
It is really crazy. And honestly, like I didn't think that I was like worthy of being entertainer of the year. Like
Hmm.
I wasn't like campaigning for that until Janelle, the current entertainer of the year, was like, no, Diva, you need to like let people know you want it because you like deserve it. And if you
Yeah.
don't, like no one's gonna like vote for you, but you like have the credentials. And so I really owe her a lot, just for like like being
Yeah.
that vet and that person that like kind of supported me and like made me like see more than myself. Cause I was like, oh, like maybe breakthrough, cause that's kind of like best new artist.
Yeah,
And I was
exactly.
like, okay, I'm newer, so like maybe like breakthrough artist, that'll be cute. It's my first time. But she was like, no, Diva, like you have it. Like let the people know you want it and you could get it. And
Yeah.
so once I got the nomination, I was like, oh shit, she's right.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Because you could still be Entertainer of the Year and be a newer performer. You know,
Mhm.
like how you're saying Breakthrough Artist of the Year is like essentially, you know, Best New Artist.
Mhm.
There's been a lot of Best New Artists that have won, you know, Artist of the Year, Record of the Year categories, as well as
They're
those breakthrough
typically,
categories.
white women,
Yep.
which is why I feel like a lot of time, like with these sort of things, like especially I think people of color, like we like don't think that we're like
Mm-hmm.
able to even be like considered in those ways. Like I just didn't think like, oh, I could be that girl.
Mm-hmm.
Like in my mind, it's not like a lack of confidence. Like I definitely think I'm like an
Yeah,
entertainer of the
completely.
year like status, but when you think of like the system and like the unspoken rules and
Mm-hmm.
just like the history of everything, I was like, girl, I'm not getting that.
Yeah, all of it kind of just like socializes you into like not even considering
Yeah.
that possibility for you until somebody like Janelle comes along and is like, no, girl, you're
You got
good.
yeah.
Yeah. And that's very nice of her too to do that, especially considering that she's been doing this for a minute and she's a professional too, because there's some girls or just, you know, people in any industry that they'll be in the presence of somebody sickening and that has even so much more potential too to go further and further in their career, but like not really want to give them that boost because they could potentially be a risk for them.
And I've definitely experienced that.
Really?
I've definitely worked with people that I feel like, how do I say this without I've definitely worked with people who like won't put me in the show with the Rue girls or won't put me
Mm,
like they'll put you in like the show that like no one's gonna come to that month if it's like a monthly or things like that where I'm like, oh, I would have loved to like have done your show with like this huge person that I could
yeah.
get to know and who would probably be impressed by me, but that's probably why you didn't ask me to be in that one.
Which is so whack. And I don't care. I hate people like that.
No,
Like,
I do. The gatekeepers.
yeah, like if you have to go out of your way to gatekeep somebody else's fierceness just to showcase your own, you're probably not that fierce.
And a lot of girls aren't that fierce.
Oh. And then it really genuinely is no shade. We love people that are entertaining but are also like real, genuine
Mm-hmm.
people too. You know, and I've seen in my industry as well, like there could be somebody that I admire and then I meet them and I'm just like, oh,
I
they're
don't like it.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you deal with that? Or have you seen that more from like older queens or like more seasoned queens or veteran queens? Or do you still kind of see within our age range of like the gatekeeping and all that?
Um, I think it's like there's like a I don't know if there's like one consistent like this type of person is always
Yeah.
like that. I do find a lot of times they are white queens that are like that. Um, but I think in my experience, because I've also, before I even did drag, I worked in events. So I did like
Mm-hmm.
interact with like celebrities and that sort of thing a lot. And I just, by the time I started doing drag, I got to the point where like if I meet a big queen or like a bigger person in the scene, I just kind of give them nothing. Like I just kind of pay it. And then if they get to know me, they get to know me because I did used to like put myself out there and be like, "Oh my god, I love you." Da, da, da. And
Uh-huh.
then the girls love to like milk that moment and like make you feel
Absolutely.
small and like like put you down a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like very unfortunate, but I've just learned, I think more so since moving to New York, I've learned like how to interact with people that have a little more clout, I guess, and
Yeah.
you just can't give them too much.
Which is weird because, like, for me, I'm just better when I'm like being myself and having a natural conversation with somebody. So if there's somebody that I admire, I'm not gonna fan out, but I'll let somebody know, like, yeah, I really fuck with the work you're doing, so and so. And some of these people in our industry and others, like, they'll take that as if like you're the little fan and they're Miss Girl, and they're just like, oh, thank you, baby. And it's just like,
Mm.
okay, girl, if only you knew the rooms and spaces that I've been in and the places that I've produced for. You don't see me showing that off because I don't need to, because I know I'm fierce.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just such a waste of energy
Yeah.
for me personally.
I have a funny story about that. I'm like, do I say names? What do you know the party Everyday People?
Yeah.
So before I moved to New York, I used to come and visit like my friends who lived in New York,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to Everyday People, and this celebrity, an athlete's child who's very famous, was at the Everyday People. And I was like, "Oh my god, like I love you." Like I've never it was like my first time like in New York. Like
Yeah.
I was doing too much, like gave her way too much.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, "Oh my god, like I love you. Like you're da da da." Da." Completely ignores me. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then later she's like she I use she, he, all the pronouns very
Right.
interchangeably, so you'll never know who this person is. But later they were like came up to me, they were like talking to one of my friends or something, and I was like, "Oh, hey, like I tried to talk to you, but I think you didn't hear me, like you were on the phone." They go, "Darling, I'm always on the phone," and walked away.
Girl.
So now I will never talk to that person ever again if I see them. It was just so rude. Like people like that. And that was like one of those
Yeah.
moments where I was like, oh, like you can't give these, especially D-list celebrities, anything.
That's always what it is. Like at my former workplace, it's always been the like long time legends and people with like 30 plus year careers are the ones that end up being like the sweetest people, the
Mhm.
most down to earth. Because guess what? Their great personality got them that far.
Exactly.
Whereas like if it's the nobody with like the current number one single, you meet them, they probably have like 50 people with them. You talk to them, they have no personality, and it's just like,
Like what
this
is
is what
wrong?
people are buying? Work.
Exactly. No, thank you.
Darling, I'm always on the phone. Ugh. Like, do they really think
I
I
literally
ate that?
said,
And like, hon, you couldn't have used those few minutes between us talking to write a better clap back? Because that's really not fierce. Like,
no.
okay.
And she's not fierce.
Yeah, I don't know. I just really like nice people. And that's why I have you on my show. Like for me, like I book people that I want to talk to because I'm really interested in them, their personal lives and like their career, not personal lives in a shady way, but like, who they are and how they got to where they are right now, their career. And also just because like I really admire them personally. In the way like you book your talent too. I like how you book your talent. You book sickening girls, but you also book really just cool people. I always leave your gigs staying after talking to people. Same
Oh.
thing with Nikki O. Like Nikki
Yeah.
O books the nicest fucking people
Yeah.
from what I could read so far. And I've been to a lot of Nikki O
A
productions.
lot.
And everyone there is just like a cool fucking person. I'm like, did she do background checks on these people? Because they're all great. Like they're a good time. Great time
Yeah.
on stage, great time off stage.
Yeah, I do kind of feel like there's like a renaissance in New York as far as like shows of just
Hmm.
like I do think a lot of, especially in Brooklyn, we like really try to prioritize good people and like drag kings and like trans performers and
Completely.
just like really like having a well-rounded cast. I feel like in this day and age, you like can't have a show of just like three blonde. Well, there are,
There are,
but in general, you
right.
you can't
Hmm.
have. And I'm okay with some of those shows. But yeah, it's like kind of not okay, I feel like. And so for me personally, when I do shows,
Yeah.
I really try to book like either like more up and coming, like people that are like
Right.
at least in my scene, they may be in the scene, but like
Mhm.
I don't see them a lot. I think it's like a great opportunity for me to get to know like newer talent, which
Yeah.
sounds crazy because I still think of myself as new talent. Um, and I just really try to give myself like give people what I would have wanted. So just like
Exactly.
a really warm, chill environment to just like perform. Like drag is not rocket science.
It's not that deep. It is not that deep.
Look pretty, go on stage, have fun, get off stage, tell people thank you, go home, count your tips.
That
Like it's
is
really
it.
way more simple. But I think a lot of people something I've learned is like a lot of people that do drag, I think I'm learning are like using it to relive their high school years,
I was just about to say that. Yep.
to be the cool girl in high school. Some of these people aren't so pretty outside of drag either. So they really, it's just like drag. A lot of the things that are great about drag is also like, I feel like people use it in a negative way, like
Mm-hmm.
to be like the cool mean girl or like the
Yeah.
fierce like bitch. And I'm like, I'm really myself, like with the wig on, with the wig off. It's like the same person.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think anything is ever that deep.
No, completely. And I say the same thing too, like whether it be in drag or just the nightlife scene in general, like even in the radio and TV industry that I work in, it's like once somebody gets a drop of attention or clout, which most of the time doesn't even last forever, they really think they're somebody.
Hmm.
And I'm like, sis, we know you were a loser in high school because guess what? We all were fucking losers in high school. That's how we all got here. With that being said, I'm going to be a productive loser and make sure I'm a cool girl now, but a nice girl
A
now.
nice girl.
You know, like,
I was actually pretty cool in high school, but
I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
I was like very likable.
That doesn't surprise me. I was just the really funny one, and I was like, I know that means gay,
Ooh,
but thanks, girls.
like you're fabulous.
Please. I won Sassy Senior for my senior superlative, and I wasn't even out yet. I was like,
That is a slur.
that absolutely is. And
I would be traumatized.
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember they came up to me with the nomination. I was just like,
Wow.
notice me? And then I saw the name and I was like, Sassy Senior. And I was just like, okay, I'll take it. But
A title's a title.
that's exactly what I was about to say. She's won titles before. Have they been slurs? Absolutely. But yeah, I'm just like, I don't do that whole like reliving your high school
I don't want to.
fantasy. And you know, there's a lot of these like spaces too in the city, especially their white spaces too, where they get to where they are. You know, they start at the bottom, they start sneaking into clubs, all that. They do the whole gig, which is fine, work. And then they get to the top and then they just completely gatekeep.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, what kind of like elitist ass bullshit is this girl?
Yeah. And something
You
in
know?
drag that's so interesting. When I first started with Cover Girls, people would be like, like Mariah and I would walk into a green room or a dressing room.
Mhm.
No one would even look at us. Like would not make eye contact with us, would not talk. We'd be like, hi. And they'd be like, "Hmm." Then we would go and perform
Right.
and come back. Like, because the audience, they will like you. As long as you're
Exactly.
talented, they live for you. It doesn't
Uh-huh.
matter. They hear the audience, they see the reaction.
Mhm.
Now you're taking pictures with us. Now you're like, oh,
Mhm.
Diva, where are you from? What do you? No, get out my face. I don't want it because I tried to be nice to you and you were a bitch. And that's happened to me many a times. Honestly, to this
Really?
day, it's still, isn't that crazy?
And that's weird. And maybe I sound biased because I like to consider myself your friend, but like
We are friends.
we are, you know, but it's like I met you backstage at $3 Bill before you even performed. Same thing. You and Mariah walked into the backstage and I was just like, hi. And we started talking about our signs and shit like that. And then y'all performed. That was the first time I saw you guys perform. And I was just like, oh, wow. And they're talented. Like you could be both.
I
Wild,
think there's
mind-blowing
nothing
concept.
cuntier than being talented and nice. Like, you know what I
It's
mean?
so fierce. Like when somebody's like a nice girl and like a genuinely nice girl, not like you could tell they just get paid to be nice, but like they're a really nice girl and they're fucking sick and fiercening and sickening. I'm like, fiercening.
I was like,
That's a whoa, that's cute.
Fiercening.
Copyright. But like Rihanna, for example, have you ever heard anything bad about her personally?
Not personally.
Exactly. But she is who she is.
Right.
You know?
But she put Johnny Depp in that. Are we not talking about that?
Oh, God, I forgot all about that mess. How dare she? Besides that,
Then she's good.
yeah, clean slate. Everything before has been amazing. But it's
Yeah.
the idea, you know? I don't know. It's just really fucking fierce to me. Like, when I met Patti LaBelle at work, she's fucking Patti LaBelle.
Kind.
And the kindest person ever. And could sing these girls out still.
Into the ground.
You
went to her house, didn't you?
That was historic, yeah. That was a moment I will never
Take
forget.
your shoes off.
Oh, I absolutely did. That was the first question I asked when we were on our way to Philly. I was just like, first of all, how do I ask Patti LaBelle where's the bathroom? 2, do I pee in her house? And 3, where do I put my shoes? And there are some people that did it. I was like, you guys are weird as fuck. Miss LaBelle, I'm keeping my fans right here. Not even inside the door. They'll be right outside the door. They're not touching this. My dirty ass disgraceful shoes. How dare I?
Home training.
And that's what it is. Some people don't have it. And I like to see people in nightlife or in any sector of this industry still have that.
Mm-hmm.
It's so refreshing. Because a lot of people don't. But anyways, besides the point, I know you're involved in the Ali Forney Center as well. You're the special events manager.
I am.
That's a sickening title. How'd you get involved in that?
How did I? Well, so I used to work, I was the chief creative officer for Fluid, which was a gender expansive queer like makeup brand. And we would work with Ali Forney Center. Like we would donate products to them and like do events that would like fundraise for them. And post-pandemic, Fluid like went out of business or was starting to go out of business. And so I was just like looking for different jobs and like looking at different options or if I just wanted to do drag. And I'm a Capricorn, so I like to do like 100 different things. Like I do not have like a moment to breathe, which is kind of like my happy place. I don't know if happy is the word, but my comfort zone is just being busy. And so I applied to a job there and then, the rest was history. I love it because I work with all queer people in a queer like company. And it's like my second job doing that. And I think it's so special and so important, just like the conversations I have or like getting to see like a gay man who's like married to his husband and like lives like a normal life, which is like not necessarily what I want, but like it's just cool to like have that be a part of your everyday life. And then for me, like a lot of the clients at AFC, clients are what we call like the kids,
right?
A lot of them like look like me or like have the same experiences as me or like look like my friends, or I know people now who were homeless and like went through like the Ali Forney Center's like services. And so for me, it like really means a lot to me to be able to like support that. My first event with them, we raised $530,000.
Crazy.
Which was like, I was like, oh, we're like making a difference. Like it was like $500,000 to literally feed homeless queer children. And so I'm like, and like people in drag will try and tell me like, you're too busy, you do too much, like you need to quit that job. And I'm like, you sleep until 3 p.m. I'm like raising money to feed homeless people.
Exactly.
So shut the fuck up.
Exactly. And like gigs, one thing, whatever. But like community, you are never too busy for community. Especially the more bigger your career gets. Like that gives you more power to give back to those people.
Yeah.
You know, and you're still contributing to your community. Even right now, like you putting shows together, you're just saying like you'll book the people that, you know, you don't really see performing a lot. Like you're still giving back even aside from all the stuff with AFC, which is very commendable.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just like, it's like my nature. I feel like I've always been like that. I'm like not someone that can just like do things just for me. Like I like to help people, or like if you're queer, trans, or POC, especially Black, like I will stop what I'm doing to help you. And like that is just like my priority and like what I care about. So like performing and everything is like my passion, but to me it's like getting more successful in performance and in entertainment just gives me more one, more of a platform to speak about like the
Exactly.
issues that matter. Like to me, like trans rights are like the biggest thing, like my biggest thing that like I care about.
Mhm.
And just the more eyes I have on me, the more people, the more ears I have on me. So it's like my passion serves my other passions.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like I'm kind of realizing that now. I mean, I've always known it, but now that, with like the show and like my own personal platform, I'm like, oh, I have something going here. And, I plan out my future and what I want for myself. I realize I'm just like, there's more beyond just like what's about ourselves,
Yeah.
aka community, aka giving back. Like, there's just so much out there that's just so much more beyond important than how can I bring my career to the next level? It's like, okay, like career's great. It's always going to be there. But
Mhm.
like, what about other people?
Yeah.
That are just trying to live, that are just trying to get opportunities that the next person is just given effortlessly.
Yeah. And when you like look at like the way our world is like set up,
Mhm.
there's a black trans woman does not have the same playing field as everyone else. And so if there's something I can do to like help alleviate that or
Mhm.
help um get them in like a scenario that like pushes them forward and pushes like us as a community forward, like why wouldn't I do that?
Yeah.
Um so that to me is it's just like the most important thing in the
Yeah.
world. Yeah.
What's been your favorite memory so far working with AFC?
I would say it was the We Are Family dance-a-thon that we raised
Mhm.
$500,000 for. Um, actually, yes, it was that, but I would also say my favorite experience was our fall ball, which was an event that is actually for like the kids, the youth. Our
Yeah.
we call them clients, but that sounds so weird, like publicly. But
Yeah.
our youth, um, it was like our Halloween party, and that was like the first time I got to interact with
I
everyone,
love that.
and I was like, girl, these are my friends. Like
Yeah.
they look like me, they act like me, like we're the same person. And it's just like to me, it like makes the work so much bigger. And like once you have a face, put a face to like the cause,
Mhm.
you realize like these are people who like literally were kicked out of their homes for being gay, for being trans, for
Right.
being queer. And it's like that could have been me. You know what I mean? Like it gives me
Mhm.
chills. It's like I was just
Yeah.
lucky to either not share it until I was like had my own autonomy or and because I don't think my parents wouldn't have kicked me out, but like I'm just like lucky to have the parents I have that like
Mhm.
gave me that situation. But like learning all of these people's stories of just literally it's like so sad the way like some of these kids are treated and discarded and like thrown on the streets and like the statistics of like what they have to go through being on the
Mhm.
streets and the ways they have to the things they have to do to survive. It's like we all should be like helping these people.
Absolutely.
Like it's actually disgusting the
Yeah.
way that we like discard homeless queer youth and homeless displaced people in general, like beyond
Yeah.
queerness, especially in New York, like in the city.
Especially here.
Yeah. And then in the winter, like when you just like add all these
You think
layers.
about it, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like a deep, they're like, we're like digging a ditch that's like deeper and deeper and like
Mhm.
harder for people to get out of. So like to me, AFC, like I could get on RuPaul's Drag Race tomorrow and become like the most famous person in the world. Like I've decided I will be working with AFC like forever because I care
Yeah.
about the cause. I care about what they do. And I may not be at a desk 9 to 5
A
helping them in the future,
right.
but I like that's just like a cause that's so important to me.
Yeah. It's really like it's cool to know that we're kind of like the first generation of queer people that are collectively really coming together in a way that like past generations haven't had the luxury to
Mhm.
be able to give back, so then future generations hopefully could be set up like future generations of queer kids,
Yeah.
like as time goes on and as hopefully comfortable society gets with queer people, even though it still isn't, it's never going to be perfect, unfortunately. Like I'm glad that we have these communities like the Brooklyn drag scene, the New York drag scene in general, each city having its own kind of like queer scene and queer circuit, or
Mhm.
organizations like the Ali Forney Center to just kind of come together and make that change instead of just waiting for it to happen or just watching it just happen and watching people's lives just get affected time
Yeah.
after time.
Yeah, and I think it's so important to also acknowledge like the ancestors who are the reason
Mm,
we can do that. Like
absolutely.
Ali Forney was like a gender non-conforming activist who
Mhm.
also went by the name Luscious
Yep.
and was a drag queen. And so for me, like, and like Marsha P. Johnson,
Yep.
a fierce trans activist who was also a drag queen, like to me, it's
Mhm.
like I'm just following in the footsteps that were like laid out ahead of
Yeah.
me to be like a pillar of the community and be like sickening and artistic and talented, but also like care about something and like fight and support like
Mhm.
my own community. And I'm just really grateful that we do have like these ancestors who unfortunately were, I think in almost every case, were like murdered
Yeah.
prematurely at very young ages. But like the work they did is like AFC is on their 20th anniversary. So
Crazy.
it's like the work they're doing is impacting so many people, and it's all because of this one person who like really put themselves out there
Mhm.
at a time when like you would be killed
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
doing that.
Yeah. And that reminds me of your performance at Bushwick because you did feature
Um,
those gorgeous individuals in your performance for Cozy.
yeah.
That was incredible,
Oh, thank you.
by the way. Like to be a fan and have that moment, like everyone, like you probably don't know what was happening in the crowd because you were busy performing and putting on the show of the night, in my opinion.
Oh, thank you.
Everyone in the crowd was like completely like starry-eyed, in awe, speechless, but also like finger waving like their fucking lives depended on it. Like they had a motor strapped to their back. Like it was everything. And it meant a lot, most importantly. And that's why it was everything. Not only, were you twirling and doing the things or whatever, were you being fierce? No, like it was so moving. Already the visuals behind you and just the intro alone, I was like, oh, Dev's really about to do this, aren't they? Yep, they really are. Came on stage, tore it down.
Oh, thank you.
Tore it down.
Thank you. Yeah, that performance was like pretty life changing for me. I think it just kind of showed me that like I can combine like entertainment and like having like a purpose. And
Yeah.
like in college, I went to school for dance and marketing, so I
Mhm.
like balanced jumping around between two schools,
Yeah.
which is like very on brand for me. But in college, I used to be like so raw with my art, and like I didn't care about the audience, and I'd be so like cause based. Like I'd be like, this is about sex positivity. This
Yeah.
is about like civil rights. And I felt like when I started doing drag and like so much of my performance was like very commercial, very like I'm gonna dance
What's
and
gonna
give
gag
you
them?
stunts. I'm
Yeah.
gonna make tips. And then when Bushwick came up, that opportunity, I was like, no, like I want to do something that like matters to me and like matters to my community and like that I
Mhm.
can bring in like people that aren't even performing in this show. Like it was just like it kind of like came into me in a dream, and my roommate Mix Fink actually made the video. So it was like I was like, Mix Fink, you're white, so you can't actually be in the video, but you made it, and I will make sure everyone knows that you were
Right.
still a part of this because it was such like a huge moment and like
Mhm.
such a moment where I tried to bring so many of like my like close loved ones into it.
Completely.
And I was like, okay, you're white, but we'll figure out how to get you in. We'll figure it
Yeah, keep them in the team, but,
out. Yeah. And like honestly, Mix Fink is like my like number one collaborator. Like
I love
everything I do, everything I wear, every song I do, it's like I like can't breathe without Mix Fink. So that's my diva.
Mix Fink is fierce. We love Mix Fink.
We do. I love her so much.
Love. She's coming up here soon.
She better.
Oh, she is. Trust. We've been talking all about it. It's absolutely gonna happen. But you talked about Bushwick and Mix. We talked about a little bit before we started recording dating and drag. And just dating in general, being a busy and booked diva you are.
Yeah.
How does that go? You're doing all these things. You're doing AOC, gigs of your own, booking girls for gigs. How does dating work?
It doesn't.
It doesn't?
No, yeah, I've like tried,
Mhm.
definitely. I've like gone on dates. I don't think I've figured out that part of my life yet, like how to honestly
Yeah.
manage that. And I don't know if it's a priority right now because it's almost like every time I do try, I'll like go on a date with someone, which doesn't
Mhm.
happen that often. But I'll like go on a date with someone and then it'll be like fun, and then we like text like, when are we gonna see each other again? And I'm like, girl, like I have 5 shows this week, so I don't know. Like it just kind of
Mm-hmm.
fizzles out a lot, which like is sad, I guess. Sometimes I do feel lonely at times.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. I haven't figured out the solution yet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess like doing less, but I don't want to do that.
Is it the being really busy in your career is what makes you feel lonely?
I think, we're getting deep. I think I feel lonely sometimes because I work all day and then go do a gig until like 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
and then I go home and I eat food by myself in bed and then I go to sleep. So there's like literally not a lot of I don't know, like I don't get that
Yeah.
experience. And then like, like the drag queens who like have the partner who like carries their bag and like goes to the gig.
Yep.
So it's like, you look to your left, you're like, oh, like I wish I had like my little like
Right hand.
boyfriend, girlfriend, partner who like loves me, loves my art, and like wants to be a part of it. And it's just like with me all the time.
Yeah.
But I don't. I'm a Capricorn
Same.
though. So it's like I totally know
Mm-hmm.
how to function like that. But no, it is like, I think the more successful I've gotten like in drag, the more I've been like, I wish I could like share this with someone. Like I
Yeah.
wish I like had and Mixed Pink like has a booth thing. My roommate has a booth thing now.
Aw.
So it's like making me like, dang, like I can't even like go home and like talk to you at the end of the night.
Yep.
No offense, Mixed Pink. I'm totally happy for you. But he got a brother, like
Right.
shit.
No, I understand that. It's like, and it's isolating. And I know what you mean. And do you feel like people, like, if you say that to anyone, are they kind of like, wait, but how could you feel lonely or feel like that when you work around people and da-da-da? And it's like, it's very possible to feel that way,
hmm
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like it's like something like it's very I mean, I guess it's relevant to other like industries,
For
but
sure.
in drag it's like very, I think, common and like people drag queens get it.
Yeah.
But if you're like trying to talk to someone else, they're like, what? Or they're like, you're so pretty and you're like on stage half naked. Like everybody wants you. And it's like, no, they don't.
Yeah.
Or they're too scared to talk to me. Like, it's just like a whole, it's very like niche, I feel like.
Yeah. And you don't want the conversation with people at the gig just to be transactional.
hmm
Like
Yeah.
those you have like, maybe once a blue moon or whatever, like you have that really like valued moment with somebody
hmm
backstage. And those are the moments like for me that I remember from my days in drag. Like I remember and I'm just like, ugh. Like I remember that more than I do performing. I mean, I still love the performing,
I'm like,
obviously.
girl.
I mean, hello, trust. I was the girl on the scene. Let me tell you. But, it goes to say that like when you have somebody that kind of you understand that and understands you, it's like, okay, I'm not alone in this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, honestly, like, ew. I'm like very much like the black sheep of my family. Not like my family like puts me out, but like they're
Hmm.
not like artsy. They're not like queer. They're
Yep.
not. So like in my life, I've just very often been like the loner. Like I'm gonna be in my
Hmm.
room, like listening to music, watching America's Next Top, like just like
Same.
doing my own thing. So it's like a weird. It's honestly a weirder feeling for me now, where I'm like to want to not be alone.
Hmm. That makes sense.
I'm like, is that weird?
No, that makes complete sense because I'm the same mindset as well. Like, just because we've been used to that growing up, now that we're in our adult lives, we almost just want to be like, I'll handle it. It's fine. Let me
hmm
take care of it. Especially look at how far you've gone in your career in only 2 years. Like, that's not really common. Hopefully, you know that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you do. Hopefully, you do. But it just goes to say that, like, you're just very driven in what you do. But I have a feeling somebody will come around for you.
I don't know. We'll see. Or the cat.
With the cat, exactly what the Sphinx to be exact. Maybe all you need is just the Sphinx for now.
That's how I feel, honestly. I'm like, also, I've been like hurt a lot by some people, and
Ooh, we'll talk about this after we record. I want to know.
and so like I don't know. It's just like hard
Yeah.
to open up to people these days, and doing drag, and like you like kind
Hmm.
of have to put a wall up with like the general public sometimes. So it's just like very difficult to, and let's like throw in the trans word and like the femness,
Mm-hmm.
all these layers. It's like it makes it very difficult to find love.
Yeah.
I need my dating show, my Zeus Network
Oh my
dating
gosh,
show.
wait, that would be everything. Dev dates.
I'll fight on the reunion.
Dev does.
Dev does. Dude,
That would be right. There we go. The spin-off series. Exactly. That would be really cute.
You know, pitch it.
Hello. Has someone like that you've ever talked to, have you ever realized that like, oh, you're not really dating me for me, you're just dating me because I'm kind of that girl out here?
I've had those suspicions.
Okay.
There are like times like I've gone on dates with people and they just like ask way too many questions about like drag or like wigs and makeup and or drag race, and it's like, girl, I literally deal with this like 80 hours a week. Like I'm
Yeah.
like drag is like 3/4 of my life. Like, can we talk about White Lotus or something? Like,
Right. Let's talk about something else.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I find, or like if I'm at a gig, you'll find like certain people will like kind of follow you around, or like they want like proximity to you so that like other people see that they know you in the club atmosphere.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, I'm not stupid. Like I know what you're doing.
So then later they could tell their friends, just like, yeah, girl, and I was geeking with Dev though.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no.
Or to get into the section, or and it's just like, you can buy yourself a tequila soda. Let's be real. I hope.
Hopefully. People do the most to do that shit though. I don't like the whole just like lingering around somebody. It's like, do you know they're busy? Like,
I'm like, hey, I like have to glue my wig back down. I'd rather you not be.
we got a
gone.
second set coming in 15 minutes. Did y'all not just hear Nikki
I just
screaming?
popped my tuck. Like, I gotta get it back in. Can you go?
Right. Like, there's a door. Please stay on the opposite side of it.
You'd be surprised. Social skills are few and far between.
Very rare.
Yeah.
Very rare. And my thing is like, if I'm deciding if I should or shouldn't do something, if I have that doubt, it's probably a no.
Common sense. It's not that common.
Wild. Wild, right? But what's been your favorite night out so far in these past 2 years? What's been your favorite night out in the Brooklyn scene? Like, has it been a party, a specific gig you booked?
Honestly, well, I feel like there's different versions.
Okay.
My favorite, I know, like, if you look at my story and stuff, I look like such a party girl because I'm like, shots and da-da. That is not me. I mean, like, I enjoy it in the moment.
Right.
But I prefer, so like, the times, do you know Cherry James?
Absolutely.
My sister.
Love Cherry.
So, like, there are nights where, like, I've, like, either just, like, we've been, like, on FaceTime playing Smash with, like, a group of people, like, through FaceTime on our switches. Or, like, there have been times, like, like I go to Cherry's house every Thanksgiving and she like cooks this whole spread and has all these people over.
I love that.
And honestly, those are like my favorite kind of experiences, are like when it's chill, I don't have heels on, I may be a little in the clouds.
Absolutely.
And I'm eating a lot. Like it's like when you're just like fellowshipping with people, like
Mhm.
that's what I enjoy. I find like when you're at a club or in nightlife, you're just like screaming at each other and like taking shots or like
Yes.
drinking, which is fun, especially if you need that like outlet. But I'm like at a club 5 nights a week. So like nowadays that isn't as fun. But my favorite nightlife moments are, I do this show on Thursdays at Hush called Cunt. And there have just been a few different nights where we definitely we have like a anything is possible night, which is like when we're like, oh, we're going in and we're just drinking Hennessy all night. And I have almost, or maybe, fought a few bitches. And those are fun nights because my girls got my back and we be like, bitch, what's up? It turns into a whole bad girls, baddies moment.
Bitches like backstage bitches or crowd bitches?
It actually almost always happens as we'll be like outside and like one of us will be smoking or something. And then these little people like to run their mouths, to which I go, what was said? And then, we just see what happens. But I think that's fun. I grew up with 3 brothers. I've been playing video games my whole
Yep.
life. Like fighting and conflict, honestly, is like not that big of a deal to me. And so it's like if you want to try me, like you got the right bitch. But I'm
Same.
also so nice, which is what throws people off. But it's like, girl, don't get it twisted. I was on the wrestling team in high school.
Really?
Yeah. So like I can be a bitch up with a smile on my face.
And still stay pretty.
Always.
Always. See, that's my thing. Like, if somebody says something about me, I'm just like, whatever. I don't care. But if like you do something weird, to, like my friends or whatever, say something to my friends and like we're out and there just might be a drink in me. Or lately it's been when I'm high. Like, I don't know why. When I'm high, like I want to fight. Or like the urge to fight is more likely, is a scientific response for it. And there's been a few moments where it's almost happened, but
Yeah, security has had to pull me back.
that's kind of glamorous, actually.
No, I love it.
That's a
Actually,
really
I will
glam.
say the next day I always feel bad because I'm not that girl,
Yeah.
but I am that girl. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just don't try me or my friend. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we come here, we get paid to give you all a good
Right.
experience. Why are you being shady to us?
So those people in the crowd,
Yeah, it's never been
that's
like,
so whack.
it'll be like people in the crowd are like, it's never at, one time it was someone at the bar, but it's usually like outside. Like we're like outside either
I
waiting for
see.
our car or
Uh-huh.
outside like smoking or something, and someone from inside comes out or something and they're feeling their oats. Because people also, okay, PSA,
Ugh.
to bond with a drag queen is not to shade them. Like people think like,
No.
I'm gonna read you down. It's like, bitch, I don't know you.
No,
Who do you think
exactly.
you're talking to?
Exactly.
And I have 6 shots of Hennessy in my stomach. I will beat your ass.
I was just about to say, okay, read me down all you are. I'm about to get beat the fuck up. Like,
Yeah. And if I don't beat your ass, I'm gonna embarrass you. Like I'm going to make you feel bad. And I don't like that. I'm a nice girl.
exactly.
But you? But actually, I've been really working on it because that is like one of my things I'm working on.
You really are an earth sign. I'm a Taurus, so I'm the same way. I'm very here all the time, but like in those rare occurrences, when I'm there,
There's
no
yeah.
going back. No going back. And I hate it too.
I always enjoy it in the moment.
Yeah, it is kind of fun. See, I don't
I always-
remember it in the moment. I black out.
See, I don't black out. Sometimes I might say I blacked out, but I didn't black out. I knew what the fuck I was doing. But the next day is usually when I'm like, you didn't have to say that about that girl. But it's like, what does she say about me? What does she say about my friends? But
Exactly.
still.
And see, for me, like, whether it's physically or verbally, like, if we're fighting, oh, I'm not like doing PG-13. No, ma'am. I'm letting you have it all the way.
I'm getting canceled. I'm like, no cameras. No. Cut the cameras because I am about to go in. No, yeah. It's like bad.
Yeah, I don't want to do the made for TV version of me reading you down. No, I'm going to let you have it. And the beating. Like,
But
Zeus
we don't
Network,
fight.
not
Too
Oxygen.
good for that. We don't. Yeah, Krishan, that's my girl. Do you know Krishan? The no teeth.
Bless them. Bless them. I really hope they're doing well, and I hope they're looking out for themselves.
I don't think they are. I was watching
They
a
really
video
aren't.
today. Yeah.
I saw that video too.
Blue faces.
Yep, I saw that exact video too.
I thought he was in prison.
I don't know. That could have been old footage too.
Do you think he's cute? I think he's very attractive.
Yeah.
I also think he's a little gay. Am I allowed to say that?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I do. He's
Yeah.
gay. Did you watch it was the bad boy, the baddies, whatever the men's the audition.
Bad Boys, the audition, yep.
Every gay man, he was very curious about their lifestyles.
Yeah.
What they're doing. And I said, I could teach you about my lifestyle, baby.
It's 2022, baby. It's okay.
But I can't fight Krishan, so I'm at the.
Yeah, I'd rather not.
And you know where she's from?
She's a Maryland girl as well, right?
She's in Baltimore. So I said, I can't fight you, bitch. I can't.
Our lovely little triangle of states and districts are full of so many legends. You, myself, her, Tamar's from Maryland as well. She's from Severn.
Missy Elliott, that's Virginia.
Missy Elliott's Virginia. Yep, Pharrell's Virginia as well.
Chris Brown.
We have a lot of great people from where we're from. Maybe we're next.
Go. We're here.
We are. We're here right now.
In this moment.
But yeah, I'm very happy you came. And you're going to come again. Like, there's going to be, like, DevDo sequels and everything.
I love it.
To this
whenever you need me, I'm down.
Amazing. I'll call you, beep you.
You got my number.
Reach you out. Yes, I do. Honor everything. So till next time, my viewers could see you. Where can they find you? Because it's a lot of places, not just social, but where can they find you in real life to get the DevDo experience?
Like my performance schedule?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's long.
It's not that long. Wednesdays, I am at Hush for the show called Lush with LLC and Sabrina T. Thursdays, I'm at Cunt with Essence, Bojangles, and Stassi at Hush Bar.
Such a good lineup.
Fridays, I am at Boxer's House Kitchen with Mo Raya and Lux Noir London.
Love her.
Icon. Saturdays, I am at H2Ho back at Hush with Castrata, my sister, and Peaches Iman Cummings. Oh. And Sunday, you can find me at Pieces Bar for Caramel Kissed with the Lexington Banks. That's the weekly schedule. But then I have
that wasn't a long schedule.
Well, I usually
that sounds
have
booked to me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe. And then if I have any one-off shows, like this week, I have a show tomorrow. Just follow me at DevDoe, DevDoee.
Exactly. Well, everyone, thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next time. You'll definitely see plenty more Miss DevDoe in the future. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, doll.
Thank you. This was fun.